UK leaders want to go after people they claim promote hate speech, including Americans. Can we trust politicians and the media to not hide the truth? Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Did you know YouTube has been secretly unsubscribing people from America Uncovered? This channel would be so much bigger if it wasn't shadow banned by YouTube. So do me a favor, and if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. My goal is to get to 600,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And now, on with the show. The UK is going after the biggest threat to society: social media posts. And while I agree social media is a dumpster fire and we'd all be better off without it, not like this. Just one wrong post on Facebook and you might find yourself spending 20 months in jail.
You have been committed for sentence, having pleaded guilty to an offence of publishing written material which is threatening, abusive or insulting, intending thereby to stir up racial hatred. The sentence that I pass has been reduced by 1/3 to reflect your guilty plea. The sentence is one of 20 months imprisonment.
Watch out, Americans, it turns out you're not safe either. London's Metropolitan Police Commissioner Sir Mark Rowley threatened to extradite and jail US and other non-UK citizens for certain online posts. Do you want tea spilled in your harbor? Because this kind of tyranny is how you get tea spilled in your harbor. And if there were any doubts, the Director of Public Prosecutions in England and Wales made everything crystal clear.
The offence of incitement to racial hatred involves publishing or distributing material which is insulting or abusive, which is intended to or likely to start racial hatred. So if you retweet that, then you're republishing that, and then potentially you're committing that offence.
While cracking down on racial hatred sounds good on the surface, the devil's in the details. Who exactly determines what counts as insulting and abusive language? I'm sure the government has a fun answer. But why is this all happening now? As you might have heard, the UK has just been rocked by nationwide riots.
Tonight, violence and vitriol on the streets of the United Kingdom, targeting migrants and mosques in an ugly eruption of anti-immigrant sentiment. For more than a week, riots breaking out in city after city, cars torched in northeast England, fires raging in Belfast in Northern Ireland. This hotel, used to house asylum seekers, set ablaze.
This all came about after a UK teen was accused of fatally stabbing 3 young girls and wounding 10 others at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class. Multiple rumors raged about the suspect. Some mentioned he was a fresh-off-the-boat Muslim asylum seeker, and others claimed he was on an intelligence watch list. Now, all of these turned out to be false. UK authorities then announced that the suspect was a teen born in Wales to Rwandan parents. But by then, things had already snowballed into clashes all across the UK. This is fairly similar to riots in Ireland last year, where there was a horrific stabbing outside a school in Dublin that led to massive riots where people became riled up after hearing rumors that the stabber was originally from Algeria. And like Irish politicians and the mainstream media's reaction to those riots, in the case of the UK unrest, politicians and mainstream media were quick to cast the blame on the far right and Islamophobia. They also claimed online disinformation sparked a wave of violence. But there's something, or rather someone, people put the blame for on the Irish and UK riots. African-American billionaire Elon Musk. People accuse Elon Musk and X of fueling far-right riots. Because anytime a riot happens, even when it's in another country, an African-American gets blamed. Out of all the social media platforms out there, why Musk and X? Well, Musk styles himself to be a free speech absolutist, and he's expressed opinions that don't really sit well with leftists. And an impressive commitment to horrible puns that nobody enjoys. Let that sink in. Ever since Musk purchased Twitter and rebranded it to X, many on the political left have been accusing Musk of providing a platform for the far right, which is terrible because they shouldn't have a voice. Only one side should be allowed to express their opinion publicly. That's how democracy works, right? Many even claim Musk himself is a far-right activist and promotes far-right politics. This is despite the fact that Musk has historically been a moderate Democrat who supported Obama. But how you see yourself doesn't matter. It's only how the world perceives you. And you can't expect people to treat you by how you identify. Democrats are always saying that, right? They go so far as to claim Musk is trying to stoke civil war in the UK through his X posts, such as the time he claimed civil war is inevitable. So by commenting on what he's seeing, he's responsible for what he's seeing. The UK government slammed Musk for his comments and called on Musk to act responsibly. And, I kid you not, some say the UK should punish Musk with travel bans, sanctions, or even criminal prosecution. Yes, Musk must stand on trial for the UK riots. We went from turning memes into dreams to turning memes into misdemeanors. I don't think that one's as catchy. Musk is surely the global far right's most significant figure, which is Pepe the Frog erasure. But are Musk and X solely to blame for the riots? The riots didn't come about in a vacuum from disinformation or Musk alone. As much as government officials and mainstream media outlets like to simply dismiss the UK rioters as far-right bigots and Islamophobes, there are genuine concerns many have. To begin with, there have been a lot of migrants moving to the UK. So many that some even come in via small boats to claim asylum. And this has many worrying that they are contributing to the rise in Britain's violent crime rates. This all comes as there have recently been murders and rapes committed by migrants and Muslims. In fact, Muslims make up a disproportionately large chunk of criminals in UK jails. I really hope I don't get extradited to the UK for this episode. But UK officials, like those in the US and the rest of the West, really don't want people to link crime to minorities. They want to tackle bias against ethnic minorities in the justice system. But for them to do that, government officials and media outlets in the West have decided to downplay or even hide data about minorities committing crime. For example, British police ignored Pakistani gangs abusing 1,400 children for over 15 years. And just so we're clear, abusing means gang rape and sex trafficking. Why was this allowed to happen for so long? Well, political correctness. People certainly couldn't point to non-natives committing atrocious crimes. As ridiculous as that might sound, it's devastatingly true. According to the report that exposed this, most of the girl victims were white and their abusers Pakistani. And police and social workers didn't want to be accused of racism. It's gotten to the point that people are being punished just for being honest. A university researcher and her team in Sweden are facing severe backlash for showing that most rapes are committed by immigrants. So it's not difficult to understand why many fear that European leaders are selling them out in favor of a wave of migrants. They're worried about being invaded and their culture changed, which is a fair concern because if anyone knows anything about colonizing, it's the British. This sentiment has only grown in the UK, especially with reports of a Catholic church being desecrated by vandals without much outcry, and government officials largely being silent about lots of attacks not associated with the far right, like this attack in Northern Ireland, or this attack on a defense company facility near Bristol, or this attack on a pub, or heck, even people.
We attempted to report live. It became clear the media weren't welcome.
A sense of anger, I think you can hear there.
We decided to leave, but as we drove away, this man, armed with a knife, attempted to slash a tyre on one of our vans.
Many Americans look at this and wonder if their own migrant crisis could turn into a situation like the one happening in the UK, especially given all the horror stories coming out involving migrant suspects. I really hope I don't get extradited to the UK. As things stand, the UK government is focusing on protecting Muslims and punishing the far right. So who gets to decide what counts as hate speech? Does simply saying that certain demographics are statistically more likely to engage in crime count as a crime? Seems so in Sweden. What about criticizing policies that encourage illegal immigration? Can we expect the UK to be consistent with its own rules? Will it scrutinize speech that makes white people and Christians look bad? As you might expect from free speech advocates, many see the UK's moves as straight up Orwellian. Let that sink in. Which brings us to the latest in the feud between Musk and European officials. With the UK riots fresh in people's memories, Europe's Commission for Internal Market sent this letter to Musk, just ahead of Musk's live X conversation with former US President Donald Trump. The letter warned Musk that he had obligations to prevent amplification of harmful content, and that the EU would make full use of its toolbox to protect EU citizens from serious harm. In other words, you'd better censor anything that Europeans think is too harmful on X, or else. Yes, another instance of the only way to save democracy is by ending democracy and free speech. If you like America Uncovered's nonpartisan take on news and politics, be sure to subscribe, smash that like button like a window in the middle of a riot, and support the show on Patreon. All it takes is $1 an episode. Just click that orange button. And if you want more from America Uncovered, click this video right here. YouTube is showing each of you a different video based on what the algorithm thinks of you. What do you think about what it says about you? Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.